Hello, everybody. This is Sharon from the Genius Link. A new live session with Camille. We tried this for the third time, so hopefully this time it's gonna work. Hope I can invite you now, Camille. So as soon as I see you, I will invite you. For the people that are watching, please bear with us. It's absolutely worth your while. That's exciting. So Camille and I are gonna talk about self-belief. Um, I work with Camille. He's my business coach. He's amazing.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
Camille! It finally worked.
It finally worked. It finally worked. Good
Oh
morning.
man, good morning. It is always a struggle with Facebook. So, but we are
Yes, yes.
here.
We are here.
So, well, maybe it's good to introduce yourself first. So, who are
Okay.
you and what do you do?
Okay, well, obviously, my name is Camille and my surname is John. And I'm a life coach and business and leadership coach. So that's what I do. And I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and I absolutely love it. It's always something that's been part of me, and I think it's just my calling, and it was my
Yeah.
passion, definitely. So I'm now following and living my passion.
That's so good. Because where did you start it actually? Because your story is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think it started at a very young age. I was an athlete when I was younger. I was involved in athletics, and I was very fortunate enough to be surrounded by influential people, really good coaches, coaching staff. Never underestimate the power of a coach. I learned that, and so I think because I was privileged enough to have had those positive individuals in my life, and as I got older and I stopped competing in sports, that never left me. It
Mm-hmm.
always remained there, and I think it's always important. It's not what you leave someone; it's what you leave within them,
Mm-hmm.
and that's always something that was burning all my life. So as I went on in my career, I had a long, I still do, I had a long, wonderful career in aviation, and I was always involved in leadership and management. But I noticed that mentoring and coaching, that was exactly my strong point, and it all
Yeah.
relates back to coaching. So
Yeah. Well,
yeah, that's
I
where it started.
absolutely agree. Because you're my business coach, and I really love it.
Yes. Thank
You're an
you.
amazing person.
I love working with you.
Thank you so much. Hey, so today we are talking about self-belief. Because
Right.
pursuing your passion starts with self-belief, right?
Yes, it does. It does.
Um, yeah, so and like it's really easy to say, and um, yeah, how can I say like it is really hard. That I think self-belief is really it's a really difficult thing. It is a really
Yes,
difficult thing
it
because
is.
yesterday, for example, I was sitting on my bike and like I have like a few amazing clients now,
Yes.
and I was still doubting myself. Like, you know what, you have this project and
Yes.
you can do it, but I had to like speak to myself, like, girl, you can do it. Yes, you can do it.
Yes, you can. Of
Of
course.
course. Like, you know what but still that
Yes.
self-belief can like block you in
Yes, it
every
can.
single way.
It can.
Yeah.
It can.
Uh, so yeah, so how can we just
I think
improve this? Or
I would say that if we talk about self-belief, it's
yeah.
something that it's a continuous effort. It's not something that you can just sort of practice today and not tomorrow. You have to practice self-belief all the time. Quite
Mm-hmm.
often we tend to go back to self-belief when the chips are down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
when things are going really, really well, we don't sort of pay it attention, and or vice versa. And it's very, very important to go to your self-belief, because when it's all said and done, if you want to perhaps live your passion or do or make a change in your life or career, relationship, whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
it has to come from within first. You're the only person it has to start with. It doesn't start with anyone else.
Yeah.
And the way to hold on to that self-belief and to make it work for you is you have to be alone. You have to be sitting by yourself. You have to start talking to yourself and have that time for yourself. You know, we
Mm-hmm.
make a lot of time for everyone else, don't we?
We
But do
do.
we make enough time
Yes.
for ourselves? And you have to have that conversation with yourself as to what is it I really want to do?
Mm-hmm.
And can I do this? And write things down. What are the blockers that are stopping me. And I think one of the most important things with self-belief is surrounding yourself with the people that believe in you as well. That is absolutely essential.
Yeah,
I think you and I have had a discussion in the past around, your dinner table and dinner guests,
absolutely. I love that
in our
metaphor.
life.
Can you
Yeah,
share
because
that,
in our
please?
life we have that. Oh my goodness, okay.
Yeah, like,
Oh my
hey,
goodness,
you're a
okay.
great mentor.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I think in life, for anyone who's watching today, I will, one of the things I've shared with Sharon in the past is that in our life, every stage in our life, it is part of a huge dinner party. And everyone who comes to that dinner party of your life brings different things. Okay? Everyone brings something different. However, you must be very selective of the people who you invite to sit at your dinner table.
Mhm.
Because you can have people at your dinner party who do not deserve to be at your table. And if you want to pursue something in life, you cannot do it all alone. You have to have a backing. You have to have a coach. You have to have
Mhm.
friends, people who support you on your
Yeah,
journey, because there will be some huge challenges on your journey and you need to be able to rely on these people to give you that extra boost in strength. Now, however, if you put people at your dinner table who do not belong there, then you are doing a disservice to yourself. And if you're very honest with yourself, you will quickly realize that there are very few people in your dinner party who deserve to
yeah,
sit at your dinner table. And
yeah.
once you get that in order, things then start to just fall into place.
Into place.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And when, like, the first time when you shared that metaphor, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't quite really understand it immediately because we
Yeah.
were talking about the Genius Link, and
Yes.
like I was, it also has to do with self-belief, like finding a partner to really like do this with me.
Yes.
Uh, but then you told me like the dinner table metaphor, like Sharon, you
Yes.
need to have like you just need to have like the right people around you to surround you that you can ask something to. Like,
Yes.
hey, I have a question about Facebook, for example. What should I do?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
that is how like the metaphor came in place for me, and
Yes.
I really love that metaphor.
Yes. And as well, it's to be honest with yourself. You won't know everything.
Yeah,
You won't know
you
everything.
will.
And that's the reason why it's important to have those particular guests at your dinner table in life, because you're going to have to rely on other people sometimes to give you information. You're going to have to be able to delve into to the help and support of other people around you and
We have
those
to
who
say
have
hey
your
to Helen.
best interests. Oh, hello, Helen.
Hey, Helen.
I've seen Helen joining.
Yes, you're also coaching her.
Yeah, another one of my clients. Oh my goodness.
All your clients are here.
Yeah. Morning, Helen. I hope the weather's nice in France. It's a bit cloudy here
Yeah,
in Amsterdam this morning.
spreading the love, spreading the love.
Yes.
Hey, so yeah, um,
Yes, I
that was
think.
an that is a
Yeah, go
really
ahead.
important. Yeah, that's a really important metaphor you shared.
You're welcome.
Um, because like in every step we take as an entrepreneur,
Yes.
oh my God, it is this roller coaster. So you really have to like get up every morning, go for it,
Yes.
and
Right.
believe in yourself that you can do it. And it's
Right.
quite scary, Camille.
Right. And it's scary because quite often we don't have a ritual. In If you look at every successful athlete, every successful businesswoman, I use
Hmm.
businesswoman and businessmen, world leaders, etc. Two things that they all have in common is that they normally are surrounded by a good team, a good network, but they also have rituals. There's things that they do day in and day out.
Hmm.
And that's very, very important, because what that does is it gives you a sense of stability, it gives you a sense of normality,
Hmm.
and it's something to go back to. You must have a point of reference at all times. If you don't have a point of reference, then where are you going? Because you're going to wake up some mornings and listen, when I became a life coach, it wasn't easy. There were times when I thought, what am I doing? I was 31 years old when I packed up my life and left Canada for England. And I was 43 when I left the UK for Amsterdam. And but I have my rituals every day. I wake up in the morning and I have my rituals, things I say to myself to coach myself, to motivate myself,
Mm.
to challenge myself, and
Yeah,
to prepare myself for any sort of other challenges that come along the way. So it's very important to have rituals.
yeah. I totally understand. So what do you do? Because sometimes we just have off days. We are just tired, and for me
Oh, I just sort of
that is
lost you, I
when
think.
when the self-doubt kicks in.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep.
How can I get through that day? Like what can I do
Right.
to
Ready?
get
It's very
myself
simple.
where I need to be?
Very simple.
Okay.
Call me. You know, it goes back to what
You're
I said a few
amazing.
minutes ago to everybody. You can't do this alone. You can't expect to go through every single thing in life alone. And when you
Alone.
have
Yeah.
those moments, pick up the phone and call your friends. Call the
Yeah.
people who you have chosen to be at your dinner table. Listen, there are people in my life to this day,
Yeah.
and they know who they are,
Yeah.
who know that we may not speak every day. We may not engage with each other every single month, but I tell you something. If I knew I needed some motivation or I had to run something by someone or I was feeling a certain way today, I know I can pick up that phone.
Yeah.
And this
Yeah.
is the problem. Sometimes we put our pride in the way, or we don't want to be looked to see as if we're weak or if we're failing. And that's all okay. It's
Yeah.
okay to be weak. It's okay to not know things.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you pick up that phone and you ring one of your close friends or someone who has your back, and you have that 10-minute powwow, and that's it. And then suddenly
Yeah.
you're right back again.
Then you're fine. Yeah,
You're fine.
absolutely.
But if you don't do
Yeah.
that, you're going to sit there and it's going to fester for hours and days. And before you know it, you're sitting there under a cloud of depression wondering, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
When really all you had to do was sort of share the load. It's very important to share the load.
To share the load. Well, good thing that I do it. I have this amazing friend, and she's also an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And oh my God, she's done everything. And every time I just call her, like, hey, her name is Tiambi, by the way. Like, hey,
Right.
Tiambi, how can I like how do you do it? How do you
Yes.
wake up every morning and just go for it and
Right.
deal with whatever comes on your path and
Yes. And what does
it's
she say?
like, oh my God, she has these amazing, like, she is just really clear, and she's like, you know what, Sharon, um she shares her story, like how
Mm-hmm.
she did it, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I'm like, I am just wowed by this woman because
Um,
she is amazing. I
do
can
you
tell you
know,
that. She is quite
if you,
amazing.
and so are you, and I think we all are. It's very important that we know our worth,
Hmm.
because one of the things that stop people from living their best life or perhaps following their dreams or doing something different than perhaps what they're doing all the time is that they feel that they are not worthy. That's
Yeah,
very important for everybody watching here today. It's very important that you have that honest conversation with yourself. Don't
yeah.
look for your worth or your value in other things. Don't look for your worth and your value in other people. Look for your worth and your value in the person you're looking to in the mirror. Because that is
Okay.
exactly where the worth and the value comes. Because in order
Yeah.
for you to have people to buy into you or to go along with you, you have to, that's where the belief comes from. You have to know
Hmm.
your worth and your value. Very
Yeah.
important.
It's so important.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, like seriously. Now I'm like pumped up. Like after this conversation, I'm gonna go to my client and I'm really like, yeah, let's do this.
It's like
And
Friday
this
fun day.
every morning.
Friday fun day. You know, it's if I look back on my life so far,
Yeah.
there were moments in my life where I think I had it was hurdles and those mountains. I think, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to get through this? And if I look back on it now, I think I got through that with friends. I got,
Yeah.
that's probably one of the things I want to bring here today as well too, is the importance of friendship.
Yeah.
Friendship is friendship is beautiful. And sometimes you just have to go to your friends and say, you know something, I'm having a really bad day today, and I need to talk to
Hmm.
somebody.
Hmm.
Or,
Yeah.
I'm just not on my game today. And your close friends are normally the ones who will remind you of who you are, remind you of what you've done, remind you of the things you have accomplished in your life to get to where you are today.
Yeah.
You know? And that could be your
Right.
sisters, your brothers. It doesn't matter who it is, but it's important to have that group of people
Those
surrounding you.
people around you. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that was so lovely, Camille.
Yeah.
Just let me, before we end, I would like to
Yes.
ask you, who is your hero and why?
Ooh. Wow. Okay. Now, normally when people ask that question, you normally get an answer, and that normally is my mom or my
Yeah.
dad or etc. But I am going to be very, very honest, and I will say, um, my hero is my younger brother. My younger brother Andrew is my hero, and I'll tell you why. Because
Okay.
my mother is my superhero. Okay? Because we cannot not let her know that. She won't take light to know she's not the hero. So she's a superhero. But
Okay.
my hero is my brother, my younger brother. I'm very inspired by him because we were raised. My mother raised myself and my brother, a single parent, and there's a big age difference between myself and my younger brother. But
Mm-hmm.
just watching him sort of battle things, around, peer pressure, watching him growing up and not perhaps having a brother who was the same age as him who he could rely to. So a lot of his circle was people within his own age group and watching the temptations and the roads that he could have gone down. Yeah. Because I was away a lot, with sports and aviation and watching him sort of take control of his life. And he started to sort of go a bit down the wrong way. And he knows I would say this. But it took him having to get into a very, very, very serious car accident. It was June
Oh,
of 2004. I remember it very well when I got the phone call because I was in London, and they
hi.
were they were lifting him in an air ambulance. I remember that from one
My
hospital to another
gosh.
because he wasn't
Yeah.
responsive. And watching how he has turned his life around from that moment, he went on. He learned to walk again because he couldn't walk. He learned to walk.
Wow.
He
Yeah.
went to college in Niagara Falls. He then went to university in Ottawa. He met himself a wonderful, wonderful partner
Wow.
and Sarah, and now they have three beautiful children together. And just watching him be a father
Yeah.
is very important because that wasn't there in my life growing up and it wasn't there in his. So watching him become a father, a successful father, a father and a husband, and watching him be so committed and watching him take every single step as his own.
Mm-hmm.
He is my hero. He is my hero because whenever
Oh,
I think to myself, I can't do something or this is a tough day, I think back to my brother and I think to myself, there he goes.
you did it.
And
Yes.
yeah, he is. He's being a father. He's being
Yeah.
a husband. He's being a good son, a good brother, and often he's the unsung hero, Sharon. Because quite often we look towards the big names, but actually it's the unsung heroes that add so much more value in our life. So that's my answer. My hero is my younger brother Andrew.
Oh, thank you. That's so amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you for taking your time.
Oh, you're
And
welcome. It was a pleasure.
I,
It was a pleasure.
I will definitely see you soon. Thank
Yes, yes,
you.
I look forward to it. All the best. Goodbye, everyone. Have a wonderful Friday. And remember what I said. Remember everything that I said to you. And the one thing I'd say is self-belief, okay? You have got to believe in yourself, okay? Because it starts with you first. And then surround yourself with those who should be at your dinner table. It's actually quite fun if you sit down and do the work and think, who would I have at my dinner table? You
Oh,
might be
Astrid says
surprised.
her sister.
Sorry?
Astrid just says her sis. Astrid, she just says
Yes.
her sister is her hero.
Oh, really? And why is that?
Yeah, Astrid, why is that? Really curious to hear this as
Yeah.
well.
Yes.
Can I? Yeah. So it would be really amazing if you can share that with us, Astrid.
Yes.
It's so nice if people just share their stories. Like
Yes.
your brother is your hero. It's so amazing. It's so
Thank you.
amazing. It's so uplifting.
Thank you.
So well, we're just gonna read Astrid's comment hopefully later because
Yes.
I'm really
Yes.
curious about it. Uh, but thank you so much. Oh, because she
Because she
survived a
survived a suicide.
suicide. Ah,
Wow. Wow.
wow.
Incredible. Incredible.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? She
Yeah,
survived a
it
suicide. There you
is.
go.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that, Astrid.
Ah, I
Um,
just saw that Anne Marie Green has put I'd have you at my dinner table.
that's so
Anne Marie
nice.
Green. Anne Marie Green is a very, very well established journalist and TV reporter in the United States. And Anne Marie Green and I went to school together. We went to high
Yeah,
school together. So if
that
anybody
is so
knows me well, it's
amazing.
Anne Marie Green. And I'll tell you something, she is someone who I absolutely adore and I respect. She's another one who took controls of her life, and she finished school and she went on to get into radio and broadcasting in Toronto. I remember she used to work on City TV News,
Wow.
and then she went
Yeah.
on to work in the United States, and now she's on live air every single day. Another one I'm very proud of.
Oh
Well
my
done, Anne Marie.
gosh. How can I meet Anne Marie? Anne
Anne
Marie,
Marie, yes,
I
Anne
wanna
Marie
meet
Green.
you.
Yeah, it's fabulous. Oh, well, thank
So
you for having
thank you,
me.
Yes, thank you so much. It was amazing.
It was
See
amazing.
you.
See you very soon. Have a
Bye
wonderful Friday.
bye.
Ciao. Bye
Yes, you
bye.
too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.